Hello, today I am reviewing the Zenowell vagus nerve stimulator. These were gifted to me by the company. They're quite a new company, transitioning from hospital products, hospital grade HRV assessment tools, as well as vagus nerve stimulators, particularly through Asia, and they're moving into the consumer market. So they've taken their technology and placed it into over-the-counter, what I call over-the-counter devices. So I'm going to go through both today and share with you the differences. Now, I actually have a call booked, which I will upload onto YouTube as soon as I have access to the recording, where I'm going to go through all the science behind their devices. So I'm going to do a quick overview more of, what they do in terms of their settings and what makes them different compared to others on the market. But if you want the science deep dive, that is also coming. I just didn't want to put it all in one video, or we will be here all day. So this is the Vita model. This is their original model. This has 3 settings. And this is their Luna model, and this has 4 settings. So this is their newer device. And the biggest difference between the two of them, aside from battery life and aesthetics, is that the Luna has a much longer battery life, which seems to be, what happens when any device gets an upgrade. So what I really liked about the Zenowell is that the earpiece actually goes in the ear. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Left, most companies are sticking to left. So it kind of like slots into the ear like this. So it has the 2 electrodes in there that enable the electric current to go, right? This is different to, say, the NeuroStim or any others that clip to the tragus. Now, in my clinic, I have this like subset, these people with really small tragus. So they really struggle with the NeuroStim or anything that's a clip-on. This kind of bypasses that. It doesn't matter the size of your tragus. And it's actually really, really comfortable. I really like it. So that's step 1. That is a really good earpiece. I really like it. It won't fall out unless you're like, maybe if you're doing jumping jacks, I don't know. The second thing is it does use gel, but it comes with this beautiful, it's like paint on gel. So it's like a little paintbrush. I think that's so well thought out relative to some of the others that use gel, where you kind of got to just put it on yourself. You just paint it on your ear. So it's like so easy to use. And it does also come with a little spray bottle, so you can spray to clean the ear before and after. So just like final touches are really lovely with this. You're not going to overuse gel. It's easy, it's clean, it's not going to go everywhere. I really love that. But if you're not a gel lover, you may want to look at something like the NeuroStim, which just uses, you just need your ear to be damp. So that's, I guess, a difference between them. So I want to talk about the settings because I think this is really important. I'm just going to grab my notes though. Okay, so I'm going to move my screen so I can read while I chat to you, actually. All right, so as I say, the Vita, which is the original, this has 3 modes. This has a sleep mode, a relaxed mode, and a meditation mode. The Luna has the sleep mode, the relaxed mode, the meditation mode, but it also has a pain relief or a headache relief one. So if you are a migraine sufferer or a headache sufferer, I really like the research that they've done on headaches. So what Zenowell have done differently compared to other companies is they have looked through the science, and rather than giving you one setting or one level of stimulation at perhaps like a different intensity, they've taken the science and made each setting completely different. And we will talk about that in the science video. As I say, I don't want to go too much in it for this, but basically, if you compare to the NeuroStim, which is probably a really popular one, NeuroStim functions at 25 hertz, right? And that's it. That's the one setting, which is great. It's a really good setting. A lot of the research is done on that. But what Zenowell have done said, okay, but what about specifically for headaches? And what they found is that it's a very different hertz level. I'm pretty sure it's 1 hertz. So it means that your nervous system is going to get the input that it needs if you need the headache setting and you use the headache setting. So that's going to be important for some people if you've tried other devices and you're not getting anywhere, particularly with, say, sleep or headaches, then the Zenowell would be a really good option to try if you have the means and capacity to try that. The other thing that I really like is they have the meditation mode combines breath with stimulation. And they found this working with stroke victims who are in ICU. And so what they've done is they've translated that into the meditation mode, which is all about using your breath, and you breathe along with the stimulation. So we're adding in a breath pattern to really drop into that parasympathetic activity. So if you're using a vagus nerve stimulator to access extra levels of calm and regulation and really boost your window of tolerance and your capacity for stress, then the meditation mode is excellent. So I reckon it's probably my favorite, particularly for me. So if that's what you're trying to find a device for, then I would highly recommend it. Now, as with all the devices, I think they all do a really great job of sticking within their zone of genius and focusing on the conditions and the settings that they support. So as always, I think my most sensitive people, if you do have really severe dysautonomia, then you want to choose the device that has done research or is applying the research to their current device. So Zenowell are always doing more research. They've sent me a list of all of the things that they're researching, and it's amazing. And I really love a company who invests in their research and their clinical outcomes. However, at this stage, their main settings are what I've told you. So if you're a POTS fibromyalgia girly, it's probably going to help, but the research isn't there behind that yet. As with all the other devices, this is 18 plus. Zenowell have done some research on children, but unfortunately, it's so hard to get anything approved for kids. So the research looks really great. However, in terms of approval to use on kids, it's just not there. And you're going to find that with any product. You even find that with supplements, etc. Right? So that's where we're at with age. And the other thing I was going to mention has completely slipped my mind. Thanks for letting me have a little moment. The other thing is if you are really keen on TGA approved products, the Zenowell is not. It is approved by a similar body in China, and they are working towards TGA approval, but presently that is not, they don't have that. So if that is important to you, if you feel like that is a safeguard for you when you're choosing a product, then this is not the right one for you. I would recommend the NeuroSim. Price-wise, it's about half the price of the NeuroSim and has additional settings. So for most nervous systems, I really love this as an option. I think it's really well backed by science. And I love that they're continuing to research and upgrade and, change as science changes. That's what we want, right? Like a company who is adaptable and willing to constantly improve their products for patient or customer outcomes. So there's a lot to love about Zenowell. But as I say, probably the biggest things are, number one, does your nervous system fit with the settings that they offer? Number two, are you okay with gel on your ear, or do you prefer the water? And number three, are you okay with a product that is not TGA approved yet? And who knows if and when that will actually occur. I understand that's a really lengthy process. So I hope that helps. I have put the links below with a discount code. So if you've loved this video and you go ahead with Zenowell, I would love for you to use that link. This is not sponsored, but they were gifted. So bear that in mind. But I do try and be as neutral as possible. And I hope you can see that through my videos. And I will constantly say not every device is for every nervous system, and not every nervous system needs a device. So drop any questions below if you have them. Really happy to help when I can, but can't give medical advice over YouTube. And yeah, look out for the next video, which is going to be all of the science behind the Zenowell. And I'm hoping that other companies will follow suit and I can get them on board to do longer form videos sharing more about the companies and the science behind it all, so that yeah, you guys feel more confident in putting your money where you feel there is value. All right, bye.